25 minutes before 11 o'clock. Joe Reichel is in the studio from Damage Control Services. The show is called Damage Control. And Joe and his guys, they fix homes that have been damaged from one thing or another. And my advice is simple. Get one of Joe's magnetic business cards, put it on your refrigerator, and hope you never need it. But when you do, it's kind of like having an insurance policy. You hope you never use it, but when you do, you do. You do. Somebody's outside the window waving.
Somebody's waving. Hi, somebody.
How you doing, Joe?
I'm doing wonderful.
Good. Oh, Doug.
Doug, how you doing? Yeah, I'm doing really good. It was a good, nice, long weekend. No disasters over the weekend, so that was a good thing.
You know, I read an article that made me think of you.
Okay.
If I could bring it up. It was the top 6 things a new homeowner should not do to avoid damaging his home.
Really?
Yeah. Can I tell you? I'll just tell you. I won't read the details.
I would love the top 6 things.
No, I'll just do the top 6 and then have you come back at it. Number 6, cutting down a tree. Don't cut down a tree.
Okay.
Number 5, carelessly drilling into walls.
Okay.
Number 4, not knowing the depth of attic insulation. Number 3, not checking the slope of the foundation soil. That needs some explaining.
Okay.
Number 2, not calling 811 before digging a hole. I didn't even know there was an 811 number.
Yeah, that's the call before you dig number.
And the number 1 thing, which I've heard you say over and over and over and over again, is not knowing where the main water shutoff valve is. So I just thought that was a great article, and we could have you talk about these things.
That is awesome. That is a great article. Trees cutting, that is probably the most dangerous thing that a homeowner can do on their property. And that's why unless you know what you're doing, it's always best to call a professional. That's the number 6, right?
That was number 6, yes.
So, I know family that has been injured by that, friends that have been
just if you don't know what you're doing,
almost killed themselves because the chainsaw kicked back and cut his leg, and it's a wonder he's even got his leg and he's still alive anyway. And and that's not saying that if you Google, go on the internet and you Google trees on homes, there's all kinds of pictures of where trees have fallen on houses. So some of these are even ones where people are cutting trees themselves and the tree falls and lands right on the house. So, that's a very bad one. Then you had 5 is drilling holes into walls.
Number 5 was that, yes, carelessly drilling into walls. Yes.
And the reason the reason I would think that they're talking about that is you have all kinds of different things that are in your walls of your home. You have plumbing, you have electrical. These are things that are in the wall and you don't know where they are. So just drilling a hole, you could
hit a wire or something.
Could hit a wire. And you're not, they're all supposed to be covered by metal plates. That's the newer building codes.
Oh, really?
That doesn't mean that they're like that always. So, you very possibly could. And that's and 2, a lot of times you want to hang something. Unless you're using one of the specialty hangers that they have nowadays,
right.
People just put a nail in the wall and they hang a picture on it or something like that, and that will, cause, if it's too heavy, it's not able to hold it. It will pull it out of the wall, and then you have a hole there that's a large hole.
You know what I would imagine is a mistake too. It's not on this list, but hanging up your own cabinets. I would imagine I would mess up. I was at a doctor's office the other day, and I was like, "Gosh, that's a huge cabinet."
Right.
How do you know that there's going to be enough strength to hold it?
Well, you've really got to make sure that you've screwed them into the studs that are in there, and sometimes it's even a matter of using adhesive. But yeah, you have to brace it up there to get it. And here again, whenever you're doing cabinets, you have to make sure that everything is level and plumb. And I'm going to say 9 times out of 10, the walls that you're hanging it on are not going to be plumb and level.
Oh, really?
Yeah, or plumb anyway.
It's just the way it is, huh?
Right, and then the floor is not going to be level. So that's just the way construction is, and sometimes that's what you have to deal with. So you have to make sure that you're shimming it and making sure that it is going to sit flush on the wall and tight in different spots. So that's where sometimes if you look at a countertop, it'll be touching in the back and not in the front on the sides, or even across the back because the wall's bowed or something. You'll have spots, gaps in it, and you never know. That's the way the wall's built. So
now another thing I think I would mess up on is if I was putting in my own dishwasher.
Right.
I think I'd mess up on that if I tried to hook up another water line to an already, and like making a Y. That Y thing,
So if you're saying if you didn't have a dishwasher in the home
if I didn't have
already,
a dishwasher and I said, I can do this and just buy the stuff, I think I'd probably make a mistake somewhere.
It's highly possible.
Yeah, I think I would.
They make those things. They do make an attachment that hooks on right at the water supply line where it comes out of the wall, and you can go from there. So that's a possibility there. But it's always best to call a plumber.
Someone who knows about.
Yeah, because then if something happens and you do flood the house, it's them and not you.
And you have a phone call. Good morning. You're on the air with Joe.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I have a question about mold. What kind of light do you need that shows up mold?
Well, are you talking about just to check a house to see if you have it?
Right.
Okay, your best bet for that is to turn the lights off and just use like a flashlight. And
Just a regular flashlight.
What's that?
Just a regular flashlight?
Well, if the lights are off and you're using a regular flashlight, you'll be able to see if that mold, if you do have a mold growth on on the furniture and stuff like that, because it will show up as a lighter gray, fuzzy looking substance. So yes, just a regular flashlight.
Okay, what if it's during the daytime and you want to see if there's mold? Will a flashlight show it up then, or is there a special kind of light that would show it up?
I don't know that there's a special kind of light, but typically just if it's a little bit darker and you shine a flashlight on it, you'll be able to see it with a flashlight for sure. Just because it highlights that, it'll reflect the light a little bit differently. It's not going to glow or anything like that, but it will just, you'll be able to see the fuzz.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. That was a trick I learned from a guy that does mold inspections, and that's what he...
Is that right?
Yep.
See, I didn't know if she was hinting at like a black light or something like that.
I've never heard of a black light or anything like that being special for that, but just a regular flashlight, and if it's a little bit, just turn the lights off and you'll be able to, see the difference.
And you have another phone call. By the way, the phone line is open if you want to call. The number is 622-9622. Good morning. You're on the air with Joe Reichel.
Yeah, good morning, guys.
Hey.
Good morning.
See, another very, very dangerous thing is garage doors, replacing them or fixing them with the coiled springs.
Yes, it is dangerous.
I had a very close friend that he's lucky to be alive. That thing missed his head by a few inches, and if it hit him, he'd have taken his head off. And those things are coiled up that it's hard to believe how much tension there is in that spring.
Yeah, we dismantled one time for a homeowner and ended up with that spring going all over the place. So I know exactly what you're talking about.
Right. Speaking of garage doors, Annette, I've been thinking of maybe down the line of replacing mine. Is there such a thing like, I don't want to call it a hurricane-proof garage door, but something that's reinforced for stormy weather?
That's a great question, and I don't really know the answer to that. I
know that the door that I have now in windy thunderstorms, if I'm out in the garage, it's shuddering. It's I hate to think what it would be like during a full hurricane or something. It'd probably either blow in or blow out.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. They typically do have quite a bit of movement when that's and that's just because it's such a solid surface. When that wind does hit it, it will rattle it. I'm not sure, and your best bet. I don't know for sure, but I would safely assume that they do have something for that, and garage door installers or manufacturers would be able to be the best bet for an answer on that.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Thank you for the call.
And you have another phone call. Good morning. You're on the air with Joe. Are you there? Oh.
Well, we're right at break time.
We are right at break time, so that was okay. That worked out all right. So we'll take a little break and we'll be right back. But the phone lines are open if you want to call Joe. The number is 622-9622. We'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. It'll be partly sunny today. Watch out for a thunderstorm or two during the afternoon and evening hours. The high today, 88 to 92. And partly cloudy overnight, low 72 to 76. For tomorrow, sunshine mixing with clouds. A shower and thunderstorm in the area during the afternoon and evening hours. High tomorrow, 89 to 93. Thursday, partly sunny with a shower or thunderstorm mainly in the afternoon. The high again, 89 to 93. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
If you're anything like I was, the thought of getting older was the last thing on your mind. But here we are. For me, it started slowly. The lack of energy, never being in the mood. And when I was, I could never perform at my best. I tried the pills and other treatments with minimal results, and all but given up on my sex life. Then I found the doctors at New Mayo Medical Center. Wow, they made a out of me. Feel like I'm 25 again. I have renewed vigor, so much more energy, and no longer worry about my performance. New Mayo treated me like my situation was one of a kind, with a custom treatment plan that really works. I feel great. They can create one for you too. It does not matter if you suffer from low testosterone, erectile dysfunction, or just want to last longer. New Mayo will help you.
Call New Mayo Medical Center today at 352-404-4779. 352-404-4779. That's 352-404-4779. It will change your life. 352-404-4779.
Robin, let's try a little plant trivia. Name this nursery. It's a not-for-profit, and it teaches growing and caring for plants to their students.
Oh, that's easy. Kenny's Place.
Or how about this one? It's a nursery conveniently located between Ocala and Bellevue.
Again, it's Kenny's Place.
Or how about this one? A nursery with a wide variety of just what you need or want at the most reasonable prices.
Kenny's Place, of course.
Kenny's Place at 7677 Southeast 41st Court. Give them a call at 867-1213. It's a caring place for people and plants. It's Kenny's Place.
Good credits, bad credits. It's none of our business because we're not an auto dealer. We're not a bank. We're not your mother. We're OcalaForSale.com. Marion County's marketplace for cars, trucks, and SUVs. We've got thousands of sellers standing by to take your call. No middleman. But hurry, don't walk, don't run. Just sit down and log on to OcalaForSale.com. Prices and inventory change daily. Offer does not include dealer upcharge. Undercutting, rust proofing, factory surcharge, or delivery fee. See website for details.
One of the most common questions those nearing retirement are asking, will I outlive my money? Retirement questions like more will be answered every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. on Planning for a Better and Safer Retirement with hosts Francois and Julian Cozenet. Francois and Julian will help you put your retirement puzzle together. Catch Planning for a Better and Safer Retirement Saturdays at 9 a.m. on Ocala's News Talk, The Source 96.3 FM and 1370 AM.
12 minutes before 11 o'clock. Gosh, time flies. Joe Reichel is here answering your questions about your do-it-yourself home repair projects. Today, kind of talking about preventing things from happening. It's an article we stumbled upon yesterday as we were doing our Labor Day show prep, and I guess carpentry work came up as it's a common job people have. It's a very rewarding job, apparently. People like their jobs when they're carpenters.
Yeah.
So...
Well, people like to do little
projects. Is that what you consider yourself
too.
A carpenter? Is that first and foremost in your line of how you identify what you do?
I used to.
Yeah, not so much anymore.
Now I do sales and marketing. that's what my job is.
Right.
I mean, as far as our trade, it would definitely be carpenter. Yeah. As far as the home, taking care of people. Yeah.
So the next one on the list,
the next one on the list going backwards was not knowing insulation, the depth of the insulation in your attic, and the reason.
Yeah, why is that important?
Well, and that's just number one. I mean, without reading the article, I'm thinking knowing the, and the words escape me.
The depth of the.
Well, it's economically okay. Better for your house, right?
Was that your phone?
For your message. It caught. I'll just look. Maybe it'll say it in here because I'm sure that's what they're talking about.
Well, because if like it says identifying or locating where a draft might be entering somewhere. Like if you feel cold air coming in from somewhere. I guess.
Well, it says the insulation is typically 10 to 14 inches deep, depending on the type of insulation you choose. So, Basically this helps to insulate your home and make sure that your energy bills aren't higher than they should be. That's what I was trying to say.
And I can remember, you probably remember this with my mom's home. She had a draft coming in behind her thermostat, and it was causing her thermostat to be on all the time because it constantly was exposed to cool air in the winter.
Right.
And of course, her house was like really hot because it wouldn't stop running.
Well, that's where a lot of times people, they don't have their, there's not enough insulation there, so, your house is warmer than it should be. A lot of times people don't have on your attic access, they don't have insulation on there. Because if it's a blown-in insulation, that always falls down every time you get in there. But you can get the thicker foam insulation and put on that just to help insulate that area and to keep heat out of your house or cool air out of your house. Because in the wintertime, your attic is a very cold area when, and then in the summertime it's very hot. So, there's nothing between, the shingles and the sheeting on your roof and your house. It's all hot air up there or cool air.
Yeah, I was in a home on Fort King the other day, and the guy who owns the home said he went outside one day and he noticed that there was a chimney on the roof. He said, "How come there's a chimney on the roof?" Because he just bought the house, but there's no fireplace in the house. Well, he located where the chimney. What is this? Is it a shaft? What do you call that? The bricks.
Yep.
Anyway, he cut
chimney.
Cut a little hole, and he could see the bricks. And he thought that would actually look nice. So he opened it up and kind of made it look really nice. So the brick is exposed now, but there's still...
So it was covered over.
And what there was there was a hole where apparently at one time there was a wood-burning stove that with a little pipe that went in there.
Yep. So it wasn't an actual fireplace. This was just a chimney. And they make special covers for those that you can put... It's a metal cover decorative metal cover that'll go right over it.
And so it looks really nice, yeah. So I didn't...
Very cool.
If you buy an old house, you never know what you're going to discover.
Right.
Yeah.
And one of the things here in the article, it says if you go up in your attic to look at the depth of insulation and you can see the tops of the joists, your ceiling joists, you don't have enough insulation.
Oh, okay.
So
that's a good rule of thumb.
And that's where typically over time, blown-in insulation will settle and cause, so that it's not insulating as well.
And you have another phone call. Good morning. You're on the air with Joe Reichel.
Yeah, hi, Joe. Hugh again, real quick.
Hey, Hugh.
With chimneys and that, I did clean my own, especially when I lived up north, because you use your fireplace up there quite a bit more. But down here, I've got a fireplace and I use it. But I would highly suggest having a professional person come in and clean your chimney. I've done it myself, and one year I cleaned the chimney, and about 6 weeks later I had a chimney fire, so I wasn't doing the proper job. So, and it's not that expensive to have somebody come in and do it, and these guys know what they're doing.
Right. And that's something that it's very important to have that done. And going along with that, if you don't have a cover on your chimney as far as the wire up there to make sure that one of the things that we have down here is the chimney swifts. And that's a bird that will make a nest down inside your chimney. So, they'll fly down there, make a nest, have the babies. And the chimney swifts are a great bird because they eat mosquitoes and other bugs. And especially in the evening hours, they'll be out zipping back and forth. You almost think they're bats the way they fly. They're really pretty. But they do go down your chimney and we'll make a nest down there, and which isn't good.
No, a proper chimney cleanliness is very important because, like I said, I experienced a chimney fire, and I've seen some too up there in Wisconsin, and they can get pretty bad, pretty vicious. The fire department really has a little bit of a difficult time putting them out. They have to kind of smother them, and then sometimes there's damage, where they with the water and stuff inside the house itself. So it's a little mess that can be avoided. You know?
Anything you can do to avoid a fire, that's a great tip, because anything you can do, because fires are bad. They cause a lot of problems, and people oftentimes don't realize the extent of damage from a fire. So.
Oh yeah, you got the odor in the house to deal with and everything else. It's just nothing. It's nothing that you want to be involved with.
Well, if it doesn't get burnt, it has soot on it from the fire, or it smells because of the odor because of the fire, or it has water damage.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Excellent. Thank you for that tip too.
Yeah, and just from listening, and I guess the article was addressing new homeowners and somebody like you who's been a homeowner for a while, or somebody like me who never knew anything, so I'm basically a new guy too.
Well, and there's constant maintenance and upkeep with a home, and I was listening to this to a nationally syndicated home show over the weekend when I was driving on Saturday, and one of the things they were talking about, the host of the show was saying that every 6 months he lubricates the rollers on his sliding glass doors.
Okay.
And that's something that, most
we
of the
don't
time...
think of doing.
Well, most of the time, homeowners don't think about doing stuff like this until the door's not working. When the door's not working,
then all of a
they
sudden,
go, I've got to do something. But just like everything else, with regular maintenance and upkeep, it's going to last a lot longer, and it's just something you don't think about.
So what is with the slope? I don't understand what the slope.
The next question, the next thing is not checking the slope of foundation soil. And this is because whenever we get all this rain, especially like we do here in Florida, that rain, if it's not going away from the house, if it's going the other direction and going against your house, over time will cause damage because it'll find cracks in the foundation and in the walls and work its way through and into the house, and you do not want this.
So if you were to look at it, I would have to call somebody like you who could look at it with me and say this needs to be changed, or
well, most of the time you can tell just by looking at it that the ground does slope away. And the number one way that you could tell that it doesn't, especially if we get all this rain, and you'll see the puddles will pull all of the leaf debris and everything, and it'll puddle up in an area.
Okay, so there's evidence of it.
That's the evidence that water's coming, your standing water is going the wrong direction. Or if you're looking at your house and you see a water line after a storm where water has come up against the house, that's another indicator. So most of the time, just by looking at it, you can tell if the water is going the wrong direction. And here in the article, it says that you want to slope 6 inches over 10 feet. So that's a pretty steep slope, and it's a lot steeper than what you'd have here in our area, just because the homes here, typically it's a lot flatter of a lot. You don't have the areas where it's a steeper drain situation where water's going to be rushing down a hill or something like that and coming into the house. So you don't have to worry about it as much here. And also with our soil, it soaks up water pretty well.
So the 811 thing, you couldn't, and that applies to every place in this country, 811?
I believe so. It's call before you dig is what it's, so you can look it up on the internet too.
And you were mentioning most homeowners don't even know about that phone number.
Well, most people don't know about it or don't think about it.
I didn't know about it.
You know, if you wanted to go out in your yard and plant a tree, it's very possible that you'd just be digging up in your yard and you could hit an electric line that's down there, or a gas line. We've had houses that we've been working on and had to have the gas company come out because a gas line gets nicked or something because you're digging around the house.
Oh, wow.
So we always call to have a locate. You call to have a locate, and you have it done.
What do they do? Put little orange flags up or something?
That's if you see a yard and it has there'll be yellow flags or orange flags or different things that'll indicate the different things that need done. So even if you're just planting a tree, you'd want to do that.
And the number one, the one you bring up all the time,
not knowing where your water shutoff is.
Just figure out where that thing is.
Mm-hmm. Something you should always know. And if you don't know, get a plumber or call me and I'll come out there and we'll find it together.
Good show.
Speaking of calling me,
what's your number?
352-817-6574. That's my direct line. Or joe@damageflorida.com.
It went so fast, didn't it?
That was a quick show.
Wow.
Fastest half hour of my day.
All right. We've recorded it, so if you want to share that with somebody, that's a great show to share with somebody. Find it on the WOCA Facebook page and the WOCA YouTube channel. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
This is WOCA, Ocala.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. 1 week after the shooting death of an Illinois police lieutenant, the search for his killers continues. Thousands turning out to pay respects to Lieutenant Glinowitz as he was laid to rest yesterday.
Over 1,500 police vehicles were in that procession. It took over 1 hour for those cars to file out of the viewing parking lot.
Fox's Matt Finn. Some officers in Colorado on high alert after a threat in a mysterious call.
It started with a warning from police dispatchers.
Full information for officer safety out of Aurora. Party stating he was going to shoot any police officer he saw by themselves.
That call came in from a disposable cell phone just 4 hours before 2 police officers in the city of Aurora were fired on while responding to a call.
Brenda Stewart with Fox News Radio affiliate KOA in Denver. And investors in a buying mood on Wall Street, the Dow up some 300 points in early trading. Fox News, we report, you decide.
There is something about the road that beckons, that invites us to pack up the family and leave the world behind. And there is something about an industry-leading unlimited mileage warranty on a certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz that gives us the freedom to do exactly that. You take to the highway, rack up the miles for up to 3 years, and drive with the assurance that your Mercedes-Benz is covered. You have the security of being in a car that has been certified to Mercedes-Benz standards, while you enjoy a carefree ownership experience for miles and miles. But while the mileage is unlimited, your time to take advantage of our certified pre-owned sales event is not. Now through September 30th, you can also receive complimentary prepaid maintenance and your first 2 months payments on us on select models, plus 3 months of Sirius XM satellite radio. So hurry into your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer today and see why we say the odometer is there to record the memories.
See your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer for complete details and limitations on certified pre-owned warranties.
It's time for Farm and Ranch headlines on the Southeast AgNet. I'm Tyron Spearman reporting. Well, a delegation from the U.S. peanut industry are in China today. According to sources at the American Peanut Council, they will be sponsoring and participating in the 2015 China Peanut Conference to be held at Qingdao in China, September the 8th and 9th. The visit builds on the U.S. trade team visit to China that was held in April and the Chinese trade team who visited the Southeast this past fall. According to the sources at the council, China is the world's largest peanut producing country with an output of 12 million to 14 million tons each year. There are 20 million peanut farmers in China compared to 7,500 in the U.S. Internally, about 65% of the Chinese peanuts are consumed as peanut oil, with about 35% consumed as edible. The peanut production is not keeping up with the demand, according to sources, and China is due mainly to land issues and labor costs. The biggest challenge for the U.S. is the import duties on raw peanuts, which is very high at about 30%. 2 years ago, when China bought the U.S. peanuts, they were moved through the gray market, they said, and went through Vietnam to avoid paying those import duties. Bob Parker of the National Peanut Board said the internet presents a real opportunity to sell direct to the Chinese consumers. He noted that 650 million Chinese people are online, while 326 million shop online, with more than half of the number using a smartphone to make their purchases. Last year, about 10% of all retail sales in China were online, and that number is expected to jump up to 20% this year. So the team is in China, hoping to move some of the peanuts from the U.S. peanut farmers. For more on today's and other ag news stories, we invite you to log on to our website at www.southeastagnet.com. I'm Tyron Spearman for Southeast AgNet.
You can have work done on your vehicle anywhere, but why would you? Maybe they correctly determine the problem and suggest the proper service. There's a chance they won't. Eliminate that chance by bringing your vehicle to Ford Lincoln of Ocala or Village Ford of Bellevue. The professionally trained, factory-certified team understands the service requirements and maintenance needs of your vehicle, and when the unexpected repair comes your way, you can be assured the work will be done correctly, quickly, and cost-effectively. Look, you've invested a lot of your hard-earned money in your transportation to deliver performance, reliability, and safety. So doesn't it just make sense to trust the professional team at Ford Lincoln of Ocala and Village Ford of Bellevue to ensure you many miles of worry-free driving and peace of mind knowing the service was done correctly? So the choice is yours. Take the hard-earned investment to whoever for service or a factory-trained certified technician at Ford Lincoln of Ocala or Village Ford of Bellevue. To schedule your next completely satisfied service for your vehicle, contact those who know it best. Village Ford of Bellevue or Ford Lincoln of Ocala, your family of Ford dealerships where we've got what it takes.
Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA.
Ocala.